Hello learners, welcome back on the class of design of concrete structure. I hope you all are safe and doing well. So in the previous discussion we have seen the design of slab, and then in the design of slab we have seen how to design the slab by various methods like Rankine-Grashof theory, Marcus method and IS Code method. So today I am going to discuss another topic, that is footing design, and in the footing I will show you the different types of footing like shallow footing and deep footing. And in shallow footing I will discuss what is isolated footing, what is combined footing, what is raft or mat footing, and in deep foundation I will discuss what is the pile foundation, and after that I will discuss various codal provision, and after that I will discuss design of isolated rectangular footing, and in the last I will discuss design of sloped footing. Let us start about the foundation or footing. So there are two types of foundation. One is shallow foundation, and the second one is deep foundation. In shallow foundation there are various types of footing or like plain, concrete, pedestal footing, second one is isolated footing, third one is combined footing, fourth one is raft or mat footing, and the fifth one is strip foundation or wall footing. Similarly in deep foundation, pile foundation, well foundation. So in foundation engineering, that will fall in geotechnical engineering. So I will discuss in detail what is shallow foundation, what is deep foundation. So for the design of concrete structure point of view, just I am showing the types of footing, shallow foundation, and in shallow foundation there are 5 types of shallow foundation: plain concrete pedestal footing, isolated footing, combined footing, raft or mat footing, and strip foundation or wall footing. Similarly in deep foundation there are 2 types of foundation: pile foundation and well foundation. So pile foundation are provided where depth is very large and the bearing capacity of soil is very low. So various loading, depth of footing, DF. So the depth of footing can be computed. So this depth of footing or foundation is valid for all types of foundation, and code suggests as per IS 1080/1962 minimum depth should be 50 centimeter or 500 mm. Rankine given expression to compute minimum depth of a footing or foundation, and according to Rankine, depth of footing df is equal to qc by gamma 1 minus sin phi divided by 1 plus sin phi whole square. So any type of foundation minimum depth can be computed where df is the minimum depth of footing, qc is the gross bearing capacity of soil, gross bearing capacity of soil, and gamma is the density of soil, and phi is the angle of repose of soil. So from this formula we can compute the depth of footing. For a eccentricity loaded footing, so if there is eccentricity creates in the footing, so the stress can be computed in the footing in two cases. Case first, if eccentricity is less than equal to L by 6, means where L is the length of footing. So in the mechanics of solid 2 class, I already told you that total stress is the sum of normal stress plus minus bending stress, and normal stress is just load, total load divided by area plus minus, and we know the bending stress is my by I. So total stress can be written as, so Q maximum, sigma maximum or sigma minimum is equal to total load. So total load we can write P plus delta P divided by A, where delta P is the sum of weight of footing and backfill, plus minus M by I by Y can be written as M by Z, where delta P is the sum of weight of footing and backfill. Z is the section modulus, that is equal to BL square by 6. If this is a rectangular size having width is B and length is L. A is the area of footing, and that is equal to B by L, and B is the breadth of footing, and M is equal to total load P plus delta P into eccentricity, where E is the eccentricity. So with the help of that we can compute the maximum. So maximum stress is equal to P plus delta P by A plus M by Z, and similarly minimum stress P plus delta P by A minus M by Z. So dear learner, till now we have discussed the types of foundation, and in types of foundation I told you that there are two types of foundation, that is one is shallow foundation and another is deep foundation. Further I have categorized the shallow foundation, and in shallow foundation it is coming isolated footing, combined footing, raft or mat footing. And similarly in the deep foundation I told you there are two types of footing or foundation, that is one is pile foundation and well foundation. After that I have discussed how to compute the depth of footing. So I told you according to the code minimum depth should be provided 50 cm or 500 mm, and Rankine has given the expression to compute the minimum depth, that is equal to q by gamma 1 minus sin phi divided by 1 plus sin phi ka whole square, where df is the minimum depth, qc is the gross bearing capacity, gamma is the unit weight of soil, and phi is the angle of repose of soil. And after that I have discussed how to compute the maximum base pressure and minimum base pressure of a footing for a eccentric loaded footing. So first case I have discussed when our eccentricity is less than equal to L by 6, where L is the length of footing. So the base pressure is equal to the sum of normal pressure plus bending stress, plus minus bending stress. So normal stress is the total load acting on the footing, and the total load is load of the footing plus self weight of the footing and backfill due to the backfill. And similarly bending stress, we know that according to the bending equation m upon I sigma yy is equal to E by R, and with the help of that bending stress is my by I or m by z, where m is the total load into eccentricity. So with the help of that maximum base pressure at one end and minimum base pressure at the other end of the footing can be computed. So after that I am going to discuss when our eccentricity exceeds the L by 6. So in that case entire length we don't have to use, in place of entire length or total length L we have to use effective length, and this effective length can be computed as 3 times A, where A is the constant, the value of A is 0.5 L minus 3E. After that I will discuss how to design the isolated rectangular footing. So in the design of isolated rectangular footing I will discuss, firstly I have to compute the total load. So total load is self weight plus load acting on the column, and with the help of self bearing capacity given of the soil we can compute the total stress or total stress acting on the footing, and with the help of that we can compute the bending moment and shear force. So in this design we will check for the bending moment, and after that check for the shear, and in the shear I will design for one way shear and two way shear or punching shear, and after that I will check for the development length and detailing of reinforcement, where sigma max is the maximum value of base pressure at one extreme and sigma minimum is the minimum base pressure at one extreme. So let us draw the distribution of this stress at the base of the footing. This is the footing, having a load capital P and a moment M. This is delta P. So if I draw the distribution, so it will look like sigma max and sigma minimum when E less than equal to L by 6. So I am going to discuss the second case when E greater than L by 6, where L is the length of footing. So when E greater than L by 6, so above formula will not be valid. So the above formula is not valid. Effective length of contact is reduced from L to L effective, where L effective is equal to 3 times A, where A is equal to 0.5 times L minus E. So with the help of that we can compute L effective. So the maximum value of base pressure at one extreme, that is 2 times P plus delta P divided by B into L effective, and minimum base pressure is equal to 0. So now I am going to design a rectangular isolated footing, that is important for the competitive or any university examination point of view. Design of rectangular isolated footing. So in the design of rectangular isolated value, given value in the question, that is first one is load from column P, and that will be the working load, and the second one is size of column A by B, and the third one is safe bearing capacity of soil Q naught, and the fourth one is grade of concrete / steel. So these four data will be given in the problem or in the design. The first one is load coming from the column, and that will be the working load. Second one is the size of column. Third one is safe bearing capacity of soil, and the fourth one is grade of steel and concrete. So firstly, the first step for the design of rectangular isolated footing, we have to compute the size of footing. So for the size of footing, load is given, load coming from the column, load from column, and that will be the working load. Working load is equal to P, and the at 10% of the column load, weight of foundation, and the weight of foundation is taken as 10% of the column load, 0.1 P. Add 10% of column load. So you have to take 10% until in the question another percentage of is not given. So the total load is equal to P plus 0.1 P, so it is 1.1 P. So the area of footing can be computed as total load divided by safe bearing capacity of the soil. So with the help of that you can compute the area of footing. After that you have to decide size of footing. A is equal to L by B, or if it is a square column, so B by B or capital L by L. So net pressure, you have to, second step is computed net pressure. So net pressure if I draw a footing, so this is the column load P, and weight of the column, self weight of the column is 0.1 P, and here bearing capacity, shape bearing capacity can be written as PT by A. In this direction, here 0.1 P by A in this direction. So the net pressure W naught is equal to PT by A minus 0.1 P by A. So PT is 1.1 P minus 0.1 P divided by A. So W naught is equal to P by A. But this net pressure you have to take in design soil pressure in case of working stress method. But in limit state method, WU naught is equal to 1.5 P by A. So remember in mind that in which design philosophy you are going to design of footing, whether it is working stress or limit state. So in the working stress method, net pressure is coming P by A, and in the limit state method it is 1.5 times P by A. Second step is check for bending moment. So in the design of bending moment, once we have decided the size of footing, let us assume this is L and this one is B, and the size of column is already given. So bending moment can be computed in two directions. One is XX direction and bending moment in YY direction. So for the design of bending moment, we have to decide the critical section for bending moment. Critical section for bending moment. So code suggests, according to IS 456-2000, at face of the column where foundation is provided for a RCC column or wall. So critical section for bending moment is at face of the column. So bending moment at XX, so at XX, consider 1 meter width of foundation. So overhang portion, overhang at critical section on one side, that is OX1, and OX1 is nothing but total width is B minus B by 2. So maximum bending moment at XX is equal to W naught into 1 meter into OX1 into OX1 by 2. So it is coming, moment about XX is W1 into 1 into B minus B by 2 into B minus B by 4. If the size of the column, this one is A and this is B. So moment about XX is W naught into 1 into B minus B whole square divided by 8. So this is the moment. Similarly about YY, so OY1 is equal to L minus A by 2. So the bending moment in Y direction is W naught into 1 into L minus A by 2 into L minus A by 4. So moment in Y direction is W1 into 1 into L minus A whole square divided by 8. So bending moment in X and Y direction can be computed, and the maximum moment we have to consider. So if I design the footing in limit state method, so in LSM, in limit state method, MUX is equal to 1.W U naught into B minus B whole square divided by 8, and similarly MUY is equal to W U naught into L minus A whole square divided by 8 in limit state, or just multiply by 1.5. So check for depth. Of footing. So depth of footing is equal to square root of maximum bending moment divided by Q into B1, or where B1 is width of strip and taken for 1 meter, so 1000 mm. So with the help of that we can check the effective depth. So dear student, today we have discussed about the design of rectangular isolated footing, and in the isolated footing I told you 4 data will be given in the question. The first one is load coming from the footing, and the second one is shape bearing capacity, and the third one is the size of column, and the fourth one is grade of concrete and steel. So with the help of that we have to compute the total load acting on the footing, and the total load is load coming from the column, footing and plus self weight of the, and total load is 1.1 times P, and with the help of self bearing capacity we can compute the area of footing, and once we have computed the area of footing, so we can decide the size of footing. After that we have checked for the bending moment. So bending moment is computed in 2 directions, and critical section is at the face of the column according to the IS 456-2000. So the bending moment in X direction is equal to W U naught into B minus B का whole square divided by 8, and in YY direction bending moment is W U naught into L minus A whole square divided by 8, where L is the length of footing and A and B with the dimension of the column. Once we have computed the bending moment in X and Y direction, so the maximum bending moment we have to take, and with the help of that maximum bending moment we have to compute the depth of footing, and depth of footing is equal to a square root of maximum bending moment divided by Q into B, where Q is the bending moment coefficient that depends on the grade of steel. So in the subsequent class I will discuss the check for the shear, and in check for the shear I will discuss one-way shear and two-way shear or punching shear, and after that I will discuss check for the development length and detailing of reinforcement. So take care of your health and happy learning.